G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. It's almost Valentine's Day, so I thought I would do a few Valentine's videos for you, just to get us into the spirit. Now, I got these, oh gosh, a year ago, I think. I think my lovely friend Kelly sent them to me. Were these the ones, Kelly? And I didn't get to use them last year, so I thought I'd best use them this year. So they come like this. That's the little label. Confetti decals. So we just peel that off. And it's got a slightly sticky back to it, and there's just little glitter in there. So it's got paper on the background. I don't think you can peel that off, otherwise it'll all fall out. It's got like a glittery confetti paper as well as that. So I thought that would look really sweet in my, this is my what's it called? Gosh, it's my chunky edge, chunky live edge mold. Oh, anyway, so I thought that would be really pretty. I'm going to just put it back on there for a minute so I don't get fluff and stuff all over it. So I'm going to use that in this one. I've also got these. Now these are just like little puffy hearts with also glitter in them. Got different color glitter. So yeah, I've got a whole heap of those as well. So I might use some of those. And then what I've also got is these. Do you remember me using these for my shakers? It's got a little piece of white sort of paper there that you pull out, and then you stick another one on the back so you can make a shaker. So I'm going to use that at some stage as well. It's got this clear plastic that you pull off. So I'm going to use that as well. I was kind of deciding whether I should use that in there and then fill it up. But that will be another video. So there's this one, there's probably going to be this one. I want to do another crushed velvet type of a look, or chiffon with lace or ribbon. So I've got lots of ideas flying around in my head that I want to do. But today I'm going to do these. And what I want to do is, I don't want to use just clear resin with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to put down a very, very thin little layer of clear resin so that I can stick this down, and then I will talk to you about the next steps. So I'm just going to go put my gloves on and mix up a tiny bit of resin. I've got my little bit of resin, probably more than I need, but I do need to have just a thin covering, and I've also popped it in my bubble remover machine, because you don't want any bubbles on your top layer. So when you turn it upside down, this is going to be what you see. So we don't want any bubbles. I'll just take that around carefully. So because this is a crystal edge mold, you want to use a really thin resin for the crystal sides. Not so important just with the bottom layer here, but certainly when you come to fill it up, you want to have a thinner resin, just so that it can easily flow into those little crevices there. Just making sure I've got it touching all those crystal sides, and then just give it a minute. Make sure that nothing's going to pull away from the sides. When I do put this in though, I think it's going to displace that resin anyway, and it's probably going to sort of move to the sides. Alrighty, so now, because when we unmold, oops, I'm going to stick, that's going to be at the top. We need to put this in upside down, okay? Don't get it wrong and put it that way. We're going to do it this way. So I'm just going to pop it in, and then we can just sort of give it a bit of a press. Now I can see a little area there where the resin has pulled away from the sides. I didn't want to put too much in to start with, but I am going to just put a tiny bit more in just because I can see it's pulling away from the sides there. Make sure you got enough. And also make sure that your mold is deep enough to accommodate this shaker. All right, now it doesn't matter if we've got this, you know, sort of gap on the side here, because when we put the next layer of resin in, it will go in there underneath. So just make sure that it's where you want it to be. I hope I haven't got any bubbles underneath, and of course, I can't really tell. I hope not. Oh gosh, how do I know if I've got a bubble stuck under there? I don't know. What I'm going to do is I am going to just give it a spray with some isopropyl, and then I'm going to pop it in again. Okay. Doesn't help that it's sticky. Hopefully that will help. I don't know. Just don't poke it with your toothpick. I'm using the side of the toothpick. Something small that's not going to get stuck because it's sticky. All right, now you can see there as well that the resin's pulled away from the edge a little bit, so pop a tiny bit more in. And then we're just going to wait until this resin has had a chance to cure. I'm just trying to have a look and see if I've got sort of an equal amount from here to the crystals, from there to the crystals, and there to the crystals. I can see I've got a bigger space there, so we'll move it over a little bit. But yeah, just put it sort of where you want it. I think that's about equal on each side now. I know my mold is, maybe no, that's all right. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it because it's not exactly symmetrical. So how's that? Anyway, have it where you want it. So I'm going to leave that now to cure. If I had to just fill the whole thing up with resin, it would just float, and yeah, we want it to stay down the bottom, so that's why we're going to do this in 2 layers. We're going to pour the resin in, let that cure a bit. You can let it cure until it's tacky, or it's probably a better idea if you just do it when it's tacky. That way you don't see a line where you've put the new resin on top of the old resin. Sometimes you can see that line where the 2 resins join. So wait till it's sort of touch dry but not hard enough to unmold. All right, and then we'll come back for the next layer. So I will see you for that. Right, so this first layer has dried now, cured. I forgot Valentine's Day was closer than it was. Oh my gosh. So I'm not going to use a deep pour resin. I'm actually going to use my regular Let's resin, not the fast cure one, just the regular Let's resin. And it should cure up in probably about 12 hours. But because it's a thicker resin, and there's some bubbles in there from me stirring, I will put this whole thing in my vacuum chamber, because like I said, I'm running out of time. There's 2 ways you can do either like a deep pour or something that's got a lot of crystals or intricate little areas in it. You can do it 2 ways. You can either use a really thin resin, like a deep pour resin. It's like water, so it flows easily into all those little crevices, or you can use a vacuum chamber with a thicker resin, which is what I'm going to do today. Otherwise, this video is not going to get up in time for Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was so close. So I've decided on the fuchsia, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a drop onto my toothpick. I'm going to do this slowly because I don't want to over color it, and I think by putting a whole drop in there it might be a bit much. So I just want to do it slowly. I want a very, very pale pink like that, so you can see it over the white now. Over here you can't really see it, but when it's over the white you can see. So maybe a little bit more because it's deeper here than it will be in the mold. So basically put it on the toothpick, let a bit drop off, and then put a little bit more in there, and that will be fine. Now these are just the Daco Rom. I got them on Amazon. They're just your cheapies. They're not very highly pigmented, which I like because they don't leave a skin on the top of your resin like some do. And they spread really well because they've got a high ratio of alcohol to pigment. So they spread really nicely, like for the 3D blooms. And because I wanted such a pale pink, I didn't want to use a highly concentrated ink. So there we go. I think that will be really pretty. Just a hint of pink. All right, so now we'll just pour this in. And I'm just going to start here because I want it to flow underneath that heart on its own accord. So if I do this, that resin should just sort of flow in on its own rather than me pouring all the way around and hoping it goes in. So that's why I'm going to do that. Round you come. That's a really pretty pale pink. That goes over the top. And here comes the rain. Just when you do a load of washing. Alright, so that's covered. So now I'll just pour the rest in here. I mixed up 80 grams of A and just under 80 grams of B. Now I'm not going to fill this all the way right now because I still need to pick it up and move it into my vacuum chamber. So I am going to do that. I don't really need to worry about popping bubbles because the vacuum chamber is going to pop them all for me. If you do a lot of resin with lots of crystal-y type things, it's a really good idea to get yourself a vacuum chamber. They can be expensive. I got the one from Vivor that's actually a paint sprayer. It's got this pole in the center. It's used for like spray painting, but we just chopped that off and put one more attachment on the top, a valve, and it works great. It's a vacuum chamber, so it wasn't too expensive. Loving that color. All right, now I'm going to pick this up, transfer it over to my vacuum chamber, and then I can fill up the rest. And I will see you later on today for the unmolding. Did I say vacuum chamber? I meant pressure pot. Pressure pot. There we go. So that's in there. I'll call my husband because he's really good at putting the lid on and tightening up all the valves. There's the top. And that's what this one is called. It's got these big things that clip the top on, so I'm going to call him and he will set that for me. All right, see you soon. All right, it's later on in the day. And I've just taken this out. It does look as if it's, I don't know, it looks to me as if it's a little bit darker than it was when it went in. So I don't know, maybe the colour has leaked out of the heart, the paper, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a little look and see what it's doing. Listen to the crunches. I love the crunches. I love the crunches. Oh, look at that. Okay, that looks nice. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit darker. I guess it did on the pink. I wonder if the inside's going to move. All right. Now, I've got a piece of black card here. I'm just going to pop that on there. And we're going to have a look. See what it's going to look like. Oh, look at that, you guys. Wow, that looks so pretty. I don't know that. Oh. Oh, no, it's not moving. Oh, it must have leaked. It must have leaked. Oh, look, you can see some resin inside it. Oh, never mind. It's still really pretty. Like, I was just expecting it to be a shaker, but never mind. I didn't think, oops, bouncing the camera. I didn't think that that it would like leak. I thought it was totally sealed, so I didn't really, you know, bother with it too much, but obviously it did. You can see in there there's resin in there, look. I don't know whether the whole thing's full of resin or just a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit disappointing, but look, it still looks really pretty. And let's look at the crystals. Oh, look at the crystals. Aren't they pretty? So pretty. And it just gives you that little hint of pink. I think that's really sweet for Valentine's Day. So it's Valentine's Day today, February 14 in Australia. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And of course, if you're in other areas of the world, it'll be tomorrow for you. Still the 14th, but just later. So have a great day, and give the ones you love a big hug for me. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. It was just a fun little thing to do, and I wanted to try something. So thanks again for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. Take care. Bye for now.